The day the station assigned a new roommate to the human quarter was supposed to be quiet and uneventful, but nothing remained normal for long around the young human named Leon, who had come to the Orbital Academy to study interspecies engineering. He had arrived months earlier and quickly learned that humans were still a rarity in this region of space. The Academy housed thousands of students from dozens of worlds, but only 3 humans had been accepted that cycle, and they were scattered across far wings of the habitat, so Leon spent most days surrounded by unfamiliar customs, unfamiliar voices, and the faint hum of atmospheric stabilizers that other species barely noticed, but that he swore pulsed like an offbeat drum. Still, he managed to adapt, because humans were good at that, and he took pride in representing his homeworld with patience and curiosity. His dorm module was modest but comfortable, with a small desk, a padded rest alcove, and a transparent wall that looked out on the swirling colors of the nearest nebula. The Academy insisted every student share a dual quarters unit to encourage social exchange, but his assigned roommate had withdrawn from the term before arriving, so Leon had enjoyed the entire space alone. That peaceful period ended on an afternoon, when he returned from class and discovered the door panel flashing with a new registration code. The system had updated during his absence, which meant someone new had been added to the residency roster. He stepped inside while adjusting the translation band around his wrist and set his datapad on the desk. The lighting was dim because he preferred warm tones over the sterile white beams his station defaulted to. He reached for the adjustment panel when the door slid open behind him with a soft magnetic hiss. A tall figure stepped into the room and froze in place. For a moment, neither spoke. The new arrival was unmistakably non-human, with smooth teal skin that shimmered like polished glass when her form shifted in the light. Her eyes were large and luminous, shaped like elongated ovals that reflected the room in 2 perfect mirrors. Her hair flowed like strands of liquid silver, curling at the tips as though stirred by a gentle breeze. She carried a storage case tucked under one arm and a rolled holomap in the other. When she took her next step, she stopped again, shocked, as though she had wandered into the wrong habitat entirely. Her voice came out in a tremble. "Is this a human?" Leon raised a hand in greeting. "Hi, I think you might be my new roommate," she blinked 3 times in rapid succession, as though running an internal diagnostic, and then squeaked out a sound that resembled a chirp. She stepped back, bumping into the doorframe. "I was told this module was unoccupied." "Not anymore," Leon said, trying not to laugh at the widening expression on her face. "They reassigned me a roommate today." "Looks like that roommate is you," she placed her storage case on the floor and stared at him as though he had materialized from another dimension. "I have never seen a human this close." She spoke slowly, the words shaped by the translator embedded in her collar. "You sit upright. You have only 2 eyes. The records did not prepare me for this." Leon rubbed the back of his head. "We are not that unusual." Continued to stare at him with the fascinated caution of someone observing a rare creature at a wildlife preserve. She stepped closer, then circled him, keeping what she probably considered a safe distance. "Your limbs look so narrow, but you balance on only 2. Your skeletal structure must be impressive. Your metabolic rate must be inefficient. The way you breathe is so audible." Leon laughed. "Thanks." I think she realized she was being rude and stepped back with a flustered bow. "My designation is Lena. I am from the coastal cities of a world your maps call Luma." She pointed at the glowing nebula beyond the window. "Our home system is past that region. I was sent here by a cultural exchange program. I was told the humans value cooperation, so I hope we can coexist peacefully." Leon smiled. "Of course, just treat the room like home." He gestured toward the empty side of the module. "That half is yours." Lina hesitated before entering fully, as though she feared a human might accidentally bite her. She approached her rest alcove and set down her belongings. Then, from the corner of her eye, She watched Leon as if studying every movement for a potential threat. After several long silent moments, she gathered the courage to ask a question. "Human Leon, do you consume living creatures?" He nearly choked on the water he was drinking. "Not in this room. I promise the Academy provides food cubes that match our diets." "Mine are plant-based," Lina breathed a long, relieved sigh. "My people warned me about the dietary practices of other species. They told us to keep our appendages safe." Leon raised both hands. "I am not going to eat anyone," she nodded, though she still scanned the room for signs of danger. Eventually, she arranged her belongings and activated a holographic blossom from her homeworld, which expanded into a sparkling vine that spiraled along her wall. The image pulsed with soft cyan light. Leon stepped over to admire it. "Beautiful," he said. "Thank you," she replied with genuine pride. "It represents harmony between growth and adaptation. Our people believe that every traveler should bring a symbol of home to remind them of their roots." As the hours passed, Lina relaxed enough to speak freely. She asked endless questions about human history, about the oceans. He grew up near, about how human families organized themselves, and how humans survived in environments lacking atmospheric regulation. Leon answered patiently, enjoying the chance to teach someone who genuinely wanted to learn. But the funniest parts were her reactions every time she discovered something new. When Leon opened a snack bar, she gasped. Humans unwrap food without sterilizing the container. When he stretched his arms, she squeaked. Humans lengthen their limbs. Intentionally, when he sneezed unexpectedly, she jumped high enough that her hair brushed the ceiling. Humans emit sonic bursts without warning. By evening, Lina had exhausted her initial shock, but she remained curious. She stepped closer to Leon and examined his hand. "May I analyze your grasping appendage?" offered his palm. She touched it lightly, then pulled back in surprise. "It is warm. You produce heat continuously. That must be energy intensive. How do you maintain homeostasis?" He shrugged. "Humans are adapted to lots of climates. Heat helps us survive." Her eyes widened again. Incredible, they soon settled into a strange but comfortable rhythm. Lina spent most of her time organizing her study materials and humming tunes from her homeworld, while Leon typed on his console. Every so often, Lina asked another question. "Do humans dream in color? Do you require live social bonding? Do your species build starships from metallic alloys or biofabrication? What level of pressure can your lungs withstand? How fast can your legs propel you?" Leon answered each one while trying not to laugh at her intensity. She reminded him of an enthusiastic scientist encountering a new species in the field, except that the field was their living space. Night settled, and the nebula outside shifted through hues of rose gold and deep violet. Lina stood by the window, watching the drifting particles, and glanced at Leon. "Human Leon, may I ask a more personal question?" Sure. She tilted her head. "Why did you come to this academy so far from your people?" He looked at the swirling lights beyond the glass. "I wanted to prove that humans can contribute to the wider galaxy. To learn, to build bridges, to show that we are worth inviting into places like this." She listened thoughtfully. "My people know little of yours, but if you are typical, then your species is far more capable than we imagined." Leon grinned. "HFY," he said quietly. She blinked. "What does that mean?" "It means humans are awesome in our own way. We try hard. We overcome things. We surprise people." Lina let out a soft laugh, the first he had heard from her. "Yes, you surprised me many times today." They shared a peaceful silence until a soft chime signaled quiet hours on the academic deck. Lina turned to her alcove. "Human Leon, thank you for not being frightening." He raised an eyebrow. "Was that a compliment?" "Yes." "A sincere one. When I walked into this room, I feared I had intruded on a species known for unpredictability. Instead, I found someone kind." He nodded. Glad to help. Lina settled into her alcove and dimmed the holographic blossom. The cyan glow softened the room with a tranquil shimmer. Before she drifted to sleep, she murmured one more observation. Humans are surprisingly gentle for a species. With such strong skeletal frames, I think this will be a good partnership. Leon smiled at the ceiling. Me too. Over the following weeks, their friendship deepened. Lena slowly overcame her hesitations and stopped flinching every time Leon cleared his throat. She began to share stories of her ocean cities, tales of floating gardens and crystalline reefs that echoed with harmonic waves. She even projected holograms of her home environment until Leon felt as though he had visited Luma himself. In turn, Leon introduced her to human music, which fascinated her because she claimed humans used rhythm the way her people used light. She listened intently to every song, sometimes tilting her head in a curious angle that meant she was decoding emotional patterns. She said human voices carried more raw feeling than most species could express. They studied together and learned from one another. Lena excelled in spatial mathematics, while Leon mastered mechanical systems. Their joint projects earned praise from instructors, who noted the rare harmony between two species with vastly different biological frameworks. One afternoon near midterm, Season Lena returned from a lecture, appearing far less nervous than the day they met. She approached Leon with a confident stride. "Human Leon, I must tell you something. Sure, what is it?"